name is Rebecca Rosado and I work for the Point Community Development Corporation.
Hi, my name is Mandy. I'm a 4-year resident of Hunts Point.
Alright, so the Point was created about 20 years ago here in Hunts Point. A group of people that worked for another organization called Seneca House decided to start their own community development corporation, and basically what the Point does is that it focuses on 3 major important issues in the community: community development, youth development, and arts and culture. And so basically community development means creating resiliency within the community to make sure that it's economically stable and that the people in the community are, you know, being able to fulfill their dreams and also live a life that is worthy of living in Hunts Point.
Some of the worst environmental issues would probably be dealing with like the pollution, also with policing and things like that. So when I say pollution, I would say like having to do with one of the campaigns Action work with, which is waterfront justice. It's basically like how the asthma rates are high in the hospital community because of these trucks that are daily coming in. So some of the causes would be, based on my campaign, would be how the hospital community has a low incarceration rate, and also with waterfront would be not having access to like the waterfront that is available in the hospital community. First Direct. So First Direct is affecting the environment within low-income communities because it's basically, well, at least for over here, it's trying to build a facility where the residents cannot even use it. So it's bringing in more trucks, it's blocking our waterfront access, and it's not beneficial to the people over here. I can speak for Hunts Point, so I feel like yeah and no, because you know it can be something globally, that you know, pollution and all that stuff, global warming. But on the behalf of like this community, of course, like this is something that's been going on for a while, and like not enough people are notified or actually like doing things towards it. The pollutants have affected the health of residents because it has raised asthma rates, like I said. It has bringing these nasty like smells and fumes into the community, and yeah, like it just increases it for everyone, children, adults, older people. We do a lot of things. So some of the things we do to improve the environmental issues in the Hunts Point community would be like cleaning the greenway, also cleaning the parks that we have around the community, cleaning the river that's here as well, and also like going to events, informing people to be part of these things.
One of the worst environmental issues occurring in Hunts Point is that our waterfront is cluttered by many different industries, and those industries would at times be at odds with each other in the case that a natural disaster were to occur and affect the entire waterfront. Other things is being trapped by, surrounded by highways that carry hundreds of thousands of trucks in and out every day with to and from the peninsula, and all that pollution does a lot of harm to the air quality that people in this community are oftentimes breathing. So what that means is that a lot of young people have a lot of asthma. So imagine living in a place where the incidence of asthma is 8 times the national average. Well, like I mentioned before, Hunts Point has an asthma rate 8 times the national average. So as you can imagine, that's pretty sky high, and that might be one of the highest rates in the country in terms of asthma incidences for pediatric patients, meaning children under the age of 18. So imagine working in an emergency room and seeing case after case of parents bringing in their children because they're unable to breathe. That's pretty bad, and we know the source of all those pollutants. It is the truck traffic that is coming in and out of Hunts Point using our local streets, but it's also a lot of the industry. We have wastewater treatment facilities. Up until 4 years ago, we had a fertilizer company that had their treatment plant in Hunts Point as well. We know that all those toxins are affecting the air quality in our community, and so we know that that's something that is actively affecting our community and something that we're working on right now, and making sure that we can have our say in terms of city planning, in terms of how the Sheridan Expressway, which is an underutilized freeway, can be rerouted or repurposed in order to make sure that that truck traffic is staying away from the residential community and is going to where it needs to go, and that the air quality for the residential area of Hunts Point is vastly improved. There are many causes to these environmental issues: poor planning, poor urban planning from generations of people that didn't consider that there would be low-income people of color, or perhaps did consider that there would be low-income people of color living in this neighborhood and still decided to put all these things in terms of land management in our community. Also, I would say a lot of the causes would be perhaps trucks coming in and out of our neighborhood. We have on average, about 15,000 truck trips in and out of Hunts Point every day on our local streets. That would obviously create an unfair proportion of high incidences of asthma in our community, amongst other respiratory diseases and conditions. I think that the only fault this community has is being populated by low-income people of color, and that's not really our fault, it's just who we are. But then because of that, all these things get placed in our neighborhood, and we've often felt powerless to execute change. But we know that that's not true, that in fact if we organize ourselves and make demands, then the powers that be need to make those changes, because we're reclaiming our humanity.